You sit down in a small office at the back of the dealership. The car you picked out is still sitting on the lot, keys in a drawer somewhere. Across the desk, a man in a blazer is smiling at you. He has a folder, he has a calculator, and he already knows something about you that you don't know about yourself. He knows your monthly payment matters more to you than the total price. He knows that if he can get that number to feel small, everything else will feel invisible. And he's about to prove it. You think you're negotiating a price. You're actually walking into a math problem designed to be lost. But the real reason you lose isn't because you're bad at math. It's because the numbers were never the real battlefield. Every year, tens of millions of people sit in that same chair. Most of them leave with a loan that costs thousands more than it needed to. Not because they were careless, because the entire room was built around a handful of tricks that exploit exactly how your brain processes numbers under pressure. Today, you're going to learn what those tricks are. And more importantly, you're going to learn the 3 pieces of math that undo them. Let's start with the number the finance manager wants you to fall in love with: the monthly payment. Here's why it works. Your brain doesn't naturally compare $412 a month to $28,000 total. Those live in different mental compartments. The economist Richard Thaler called this mental accounting. You don't treat all money the same. You sort it into buckets, and a monthly bucket feels smaller and safer than a lump sum, even when the lump sum is smaller. So the finance manager doesn't ask, how much car can you afford? He asks, what payment were you hoping for? The second you answer with a number, he has a target. And once he has that target, he has 3 levers to hit it. He can stretch the loan term, he can raise the interest rate, or he can quietly roll in extra products. He can pull any 2 of those levers and never touch price at all. And your payment will still land exactly where you wanted it. You'll feel like you won. You didn't. This is where the first math trick comes in, and it's the simplest one. Before you ever say a monthly number out loud, calculate your own. Take the price you're willing to pay, subtract your down payment and trade-in, then divide by the number of months you're comfortable financing. That's your number, not his. If his number matches yours, ask him to show you why. If it doesn't, you already know a lever got pulled somewhere in the dark. Now let's talk about the second trick, and this one has a much older history than car dealerships. In 1970, an economist named George Akerlof published a paper called The Market for Lemons. He wasn't writing about finance managers. He was writing about used cars specifically, because used cars are the textbook example of what economists call information asymmetry. The seller knows the true condition of the car. The buyer doesn't. And that gap in knowledge is where value quietly disappears. The modern dealership has turned that same gap into a science, except now it's not about the condition of the car. It's about the condition of the loan. You don't know your true credit tier. You don't know the dealer's wholesale interest rate, the rate the bank actually offered before markup. You don't know what other buyers with your exact credit score are paying. The finance manager knows all 3. And the space between what you know and what he knows is where the extra profit lives. Here's the second piece of math. Before you walk in, request your own rate quote from a bank or credit union. It takes 15 minutes and it closes the information gap almost completely. Now, when the finance manager offers you a rate, you're not guessing whether it's fair. You're comparing it to a real number you already hold in your hand. If his number is higher, ask him directly, can you beat this or should I use it? Watch how fast the room changes. But the payment and the rate are only 2 levers. There's a third one, and it's the one that does the most damage while feeling the least dangerous. It's called the extended warranty, or the protection package, or the maintenance plan, depending on the state you're in. And it's presented at exactly the moment your guard is lowest. Think about when it happens. You've already agreed on the car. You've already agreed on the payment. Your brain has mentally closed the deal. Daniel Kahneman, the psychologist who helped found behavioral economics, spent decades studying a bias called anchoring, the tendency for an early number to distort every number that follows it. By the time the extra products are offered, you've already anchored on your monthly payment. An extra $40 a month doesn't feel like a new decision. It feels like a small adjustment to a decision you already made. That's not an accident. That's the entire design of the sequence. Here's the third piece of math, and it's the one most people never do at the table. Take any add-on price and divide it by the number of months in your loan. Then ask yourself honestly whether you would pay that amount, in that form, as a separate monthly subscription, starting today, with no car attached. A $3,500 extended warranty on a 6-year loan is roughly $49 a month. For 6 years, whether you use it or not. Say that number out loud before you agree to anything. Numbers said out loud lose their softness. Now here's the part almost nobody talks about, and it changes how you should think about the entire negotiation. The finance office is often more profitable for the dealership than the car itself. The car has a thin margin. Everyone can see the sticker price and compare it online in seconds. But the loan, the rate markup, the add-on products, those live in a room with no sticker price at all. There's an old expression among dealership trainers that the sale doesn't end when you agree on the car, it begins. This mirrors something that played out on a massive scale during the 2008 financial crisis, when subprime mortgage lenders discovered the same principle. The real profit wasn't always in the asset. It was in the structure of the loan attached to it, sold to people who trusted that a professional across the desk had their best interest in mind. Auto lending isn't mortgage lending, but the incentive structure rhymes. The person explaining the numbers to you is not neutral. He is paid based on the numbers he gets you to accept. So what does this mean for you, sitting in that chair, right now, in real life? It means the 3 numbers you calculate before you sit down are worth more than any negotiating tactic you could learn. Your maximum total price, divided into your own monthly number. Your outside rate quote from a real lender, in writing. And your add-on math, converted into its true monthly cost before it's ever presented to you. Bring those 3 numbers on paper, not in your head. On paper, on the desk, in front of him. Something happens when a number leaves your head and becomes visible. It stops being a feeling and becomes a fact. And facts are much harder to negotiate against than feelings. You will still feel the pressure. The room is built for pressure. The pauses. The trips to talk to the manager. The friendly tone that somehow always circles back to the payment. None of that is personal. It's a system that has been refined for decades, tested across millions of conversations, optimized the same way any sales process gets optimized. Knowing that doesn't make the pressure disappear. It just makes it visible. And once you can see a system, you stop mistaking it for a conversation between 2 equal people. The finance manager isn't your enemy. He's running a process. Your only job is to bring your own process into the room. One built on numbers you calculated before the pressure started, not numbers he hands you once it did. So the next time you sit down across that desk, remember what's actually happening. He isn't trying to figure out what you can afford. He's trying to figure out how close he can get to what you'll accept. And the only thing that closes that gap, the only thing that turns his math problem back into your negotiation, is doing the arithmetic before you ever sit down. You walked in thinking you were buying a car. You're actually deciding one small number at a time exactly how much of your future income someone else gets to keep.